Greetings, everyone. I don't know what's happening today. I was supposed to be doing a show with Tina. I don't think she's around, but I'm still going to do a show today. A lot of things are going on, and I just want to try to get some things straight if I can. All right, so I want to start with I'm on the big island of Hawaii. There's a lot of stuff going on here. The UFO world is expanding, growing, ships over us all the time. Government's getting involved with drones and all kinds of drones on weapons on drones, sorry, and things like that, dropping, testing bombs. So it's not a beautiful place like most people think it is. But if you come here for a couple of weeks, you won't see any of the things that are really going on here. But there are many things going on. Uh, when they were talking about balloons and they spotted balloons, there was a ship over Hawaii. It was on the news that night as well. It wasn't a balloon. But all my friends are filming them, seeing them all the time. I got everybody I know that's friends with me watching the sky now. And they're all seeing weird stuff. Not meteorites and not drones. The one thing I want to do, our friend next door said he would go with me down to the ocean at nighttime. There's these green or blue orbs over the ocean, and they go back and forth for hours. And then they blink up into space. Not drones. Drones wouldn't be doing that. They have no reason to do that with a drone. And a drone probably couldn't do that over the ocean for that long without guidance and everything else. But I didn't film it, so I don't want to get into it in detail, but 90% of the people that I know talk to people and also see it, the blue lights over the ocean. I just had a family member tell me his whole family was watching it for a couple of days, and they want to film it. I said, well, look, I'll lend you a camera even. But outside of that, I'm going to get into some nitty-gritty stuff. All we hear is disclosure. Well, like Tina says, disclosure happened a long time ago. The whole world's not going to see disclosure. There's giant ships around the planet, and they all come down to every country and every world, just like the day the Earth stood still. But I don't think that's what they want. And if they wanted to do it, they would. When they want disclosure to happen in full scale, like what people expect, it'll be on their account, not our government. A government can't come out and say what they're doing with aliens. Putin came out and talked about it, believe it or not, publicly on Russian TV. All right? Other countries are releasing videos after videos after videos of ships and things. There's some videos of aliens, but I don't know how real they are. All right? But the stories about aliens, well, there's no solid proof on that either. There's a lot of fake pictures up online, people with aliens and things like that. But I mean, I was next to an alien when I was 12 years old. I didn't even have a camera. No possible way I could have taken a picture. But after that, I wanted a video camera, and they had the wind-up ones at that time with film. So I came a long way in my world of UFO experiences and watching it and studying it and all that, dealing with people. This is going to be who I am. Tina's not here. I'd like her to be involved too. But this is a real thing going down. I stopped my brother from getting abducted when I was 6 years old in a hospital. I saw my first alien at 12 when it came in our house. I had my friend over my house with me, and we were chasing it with 6 onto the ship. All right? Who knows? I wasn't afraid of anything ever, except one time when I was sitting a foot away from a Bigfoot. I didn't have anything on me. We go to this place called Wanaka, New Jersey, up where government owns the property, and we did all our UFO stuff there. But I actually grabbed, when we go out, I grab a belt, it has two cameras on it, batteries, flashlight, a stick, a staff, and a knife. So we go out and we film. We filmed for 3 or 4 hours. We did it for 6 years. All right. The sad part is he copyrighted every picture we shot. So I don't have a few pictures I could actually show publicly. All right. I have all the pictures we shot, but I can't go public because he copyrighted them. He said he'd take me to court if I release them or show them, things like that. But he kind of disappeared. Sergeant 18 changed his name to Lord Sargel. I don't know where he is, what he's doing. Uh, kind of think he was bought out because he came into a lot of money. We had a big fight over a person, and then now he kind of pulled everything we did online off. Everything that was up online, from even from companies, was taken down. So I don't know what his story is. But he was supposed to die a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, about. He told me he'd give me all the pictures we shot. And then we had a fight, and he's still alive, and all that kind of stuff. So who knows what's going on? Not that I worry. Past is the past. What's happening now is much more important. What's going on with the aliens and ships and all that? Tina is one of the most important abductee stories out there. She just got letters, and I want her to explain it. But years ago she had an operation. They cut something out of her stomach. The one nurse told her it was a big black mass. So in England, they film every operation, and she wanted to get the video of it. And they said, no, it's too controversial. She went to court, and in court they said, no, we can't release a video like this. She recently got paperwork saying that they cut a birth control device out of her. However it got in there, whatever it was, is like imaginary story, but it's not even close to the truth. Obviously, all right, when it was a big black mass, it wouldn't be a birth control device. So, the government can't release the facts, and they won't. So disclosure, what people want, can't happen. Now, a government person from the Marines, I guess he went to the moon, said there's 1.5 million people living on the moon already. Do you want to believe these people? Do you care? And if they are, why weren't you invited? Who are they inviting? It's never going to be about poor people, or even middle-class people. We're the slime. We're the ones that get abused, used, and have to make money for the rest of the world. While the rich people sit back and just do whatever they want. Change our reality, change what we do, tell us what we can and can't do. People, are you ready? There's more of us than the rich people. Why do we let them control us? The government has to take care of the rich people because they pay their salary. The underground cities are for rich people, not for you or me. The bases on other planets, Mars and the moon, aren't for you or me. Not that I'd want to be there anyway, but many people would. Here is one of the most depressed places on the planet. I mean, I'm in the United States, and more people here are depressed than not. That's why drinking's out of hand, drugs are out of hand, smoking's out of hand. Marijuana, I'm talking about. Marijuana is not a bad thing. Out of all the things people should be doing, that probably should be the only thing. Now they're trying to scare people. Oh, it affects children. It makes them, disturbs them. I said, no, the world disturbs children, disturbs people. That's why they're doing these things. And then the pain thing, I want to do a whole show on it, which I might, about CBD oil. 27 famous movie stars are all involved with selling it now. 27. From up and down to all the famous actors as well. Why? It doesn't work. Oh, it helps some people. But conditioning and mind programming works. I worked with Kreskin when I was 12 years old. I became a hypnotist at 14. His motto was, and what he called it, was the power of suggestion. Say something to a person and their mind's open, they'll accept it. All right? So hypnosis is a good or bad thing. 90% of the time it's a bad thing, especially depending who's doing it. Well, I'm the top hypnotist. I dealt with somebody online, I'm not going to say his name. He claimed to do more hypnotic ceremonies or techniques or whatever than anybody else on the planet. Means he had to do like 10, 20 a day. All right. And if you're doing hypnosis, you can't do that in that kind of short time frame. It's hours, or it should be. Oh, close your eyes. Oh, where are you? Okay, come back. Okay, all right, fine, give me your money. No, it's not like that. Then again, if they're not spiritual, they have no clue what they're doing. When you hypnotize a person and you're asking about past and things like that, you allow that person to get out of the body. And that means all these entities, deities, creatures, not deities, sorry, other things are allowed to come into the body, which is dangerous. You also hypnotize the things that are around you. Oh, I'm clean, I'm spiritual. No, there's demons, entities, and angels around you. It all depends who you decide to work with and when you really know who you're working with. Demons and entities can take on almost any form, including the Nordics. The Nordics are not good aliens, people. Oh, they're good. I work with them. I work with the Andromedans. I work with this and that. Really? They never helped mankind in history, in our history of humans. Oh, well, they built the pyramids. Built the pyramids for what? Did it help us? Is it going to help us? Could it ever help us? No, it can't. It didn't help the people at that time. The aliens gave Egyptians and Mayans false information about reincarnation. All right. It wasn't a good thing. All right. So I want to get into a couple of things all on this vein because, you know, people want to see aliens. They want to go on ships. They want to be helped by aliens. Stephen Gray's got people convinced that we can talk to them. So we can talk to them. Now, just to show you, I watched a special on TV 2 nights ago. I think it was in China Mountains, a Buddhist temple. It's called the 5 Buddha Temple, and it's like 5 Buddhas on top of each other. It's a beautiful temple. And all these people go in there and meditate to talk to aliens. And they said they interviewed one person. It was really hard for them to get in there. They interviewed one person, and he said, well, we actually predicted one of the biggest disasters on the planet. We predicted the second biggest disaster. I said, predicting, and in my viewpoint, predicting a disaster like Notre Dame did, does it help anybody? If I said the world's going to be destroyed and it's destroyed, guess what? Nobody's going to be here to understand or even care. But when I say, well, New York City's going to crash or be flooded, if I'm not there trying to prove it or stop it, what good is the prophecy? Prophecies are only good if they change things. When Adam and Eve happened, it's a make-believe story. But Noah's Ark was a real story, people, whether they want to believe that or not. They found it, and it's going to be covered up, a lot of details. I mean, they show you things when they were going up in the mountains and they found a cross sticking out of the ice and things like that. They're not going to go into that, the same as they're never going to go into the Ark of the Covenant. Noah's Ark is real. The Ark of the Covenant's real. And then you got people in the UFO world. The Saharaman claims he invented the string theory, which he didn't, but he also claims he has the Ark of the Covenant. And the government has one, 2, all right? And he wants to link his up with the one the government has, and he was begging for millions of dollars. I saw him a couple of years here in Hawaii. Big weekend seminar. Probably 250, 300 people were there. I didn't pay for it. I wouldn't pay to see him anyway. At the end of it, the last hour, he wanted to take people on the Galactic Federation ship. Really? You know, programming the mind. I have a hard time because very few people want to understand God. They're programmed with the idea of what God is. All right? Moses didn't go into any great details about what God was, or the 10 Commandments, how he wrote them, and everything else. But the 10 Commandments were laws to live by, not harmful. None of the 10 Commandments are harmful. They don't hurt people. But love wasn't never mentioned. Love didn't exist either. Compassion did. But getting back to, Moses was a black magician. All right? Killing people means it's black magic, and when you heal people, it's white magic. So when he did his little things and all these people died, that's called black magic. He worked with the high priest and things like that. And he fought and battled with people and things like that. All that. When he came up the mountain, he had 3,000 people killed and called them demons. Easy to kill people when you call them a demon. And then you don't get bad credit, bad karma. In their mind, they don't. The same as when they came into the United States, the Christians and the Spanish, and they killed 50 million native people. They called them demons, red-skinned demons, and it was okay to kill them. That's why they relate Satan to red and everything else. I can go to a lot of that stuff, but do you really care? Probably not. What do you really care about? Aliens, are they going to come here and help us? No, they're not. They gave the government weapons. They're giving government more weapons, and we're still fighting with at least 4 races I know. I know there's supposed to be 9 that we're fighting with, and when we probably are. And there's supposed to be 27 alien races that work with or come and affect this planet. But none of them are helping us move forward in a spiritual way at any level. They're not helping us move forward, saving the planet. And you'd think that would be their first concern. And Mr. Putin himself said 3 alien races want to destroy the planet. So put that all in your pipe and smoke it, because, we're in trouble. And you're being forced to worry about eating, buying gas for your car, if you're going to be able to stay in your house. I mean, all these people trying to get into the United States. How did everybody else get here? Why were they allowed in? Why was everybody allowed in? In New York City, they have a place where they have the stone where all the people that came in had their names put on there. Check it out. They're the only ones that are allowed here. But, when Christopher Columbus, people came later on, all these people came. It was nothing good. Sorry, I'm bad with that. Nothing good was happening. It was evil, dangerous, and bad. I mean, they put the native people on drugs, poison, and they put them in schools when they were little kids and brainwashing them, trying to. And if they didn't work out, they just killed them. When they allowed guns to people, it's because they wanted people to kill native people. People were fighting for the Constitution. Constitution was created for rich people only. If you know anything about them, the poor people weren't allowed to vote or get involved. Why was that? And then again, the native people weren't involved or allowed part of anything because they were all being killed. So, when they wrote the Constitution, they stole, half of it came from native people's teachings. The arrows in the eagle's talons and all that, and have symbols to the native people when they created the 5 nations. So, we're built on a horrible rock. All right. And we're being pushed off. The poor people, middle-class people, rich people think they own it. All right. When they built Mount Rushmore, I got into a fight with native people about it. They don't even know what was happening when they built it. Those 5 people on the Mount Rushmore were all responsible for killing native people. George Washington, when he gave the orders to let one tribe survive, he gave the orders to kill another one. Thomas Jefferson rode across the whole bottom of the East Coast, West Coast, all around, killing every tribe he could. So, they're not good people that are there. They're put on sacred holy ground of the native people. Luckily, they put Crazy Horse next to it. I got to see it. It wasn't completely done when I saw it. But I wanted to put a bomb on Mount Rushmore and blow the noses off. I thought that would have been cool. They have caught me, yeah. But again, the symbol, we can't go against our government. We try to. And that's what Thomas Jefferson tried to create for white people. And didn't realize he was working with white people when he wanted to create the right to form a militia. All right? Meaning if the government's not right, you have the right to form a group and take them out. When Bush was in presidency, he took that and changed it. Anybody that's against the government is a terrorist. They declared Greenpeace and many other people terrorists. Now, why don't they call aliens terrorists? Why don't they say anything about it? Because they can't stop it. When I was born, 1952, fleets of ships went over the White House twice in 1 week and witnessed by lots of people. I say what I want, people, just so you know. I'm here. I only deal with the truth. I live in my truth. I'll die in it, period. Government takes me out tomorrow. At least I put the truth that I could out there. Not like all these other UFO people, the whistleblowers. I'm 90 years old and I'm going to tell you I saw aliens. Why now? Because he's not going to get his Social Security check anymore? Or it stopped? What's the reason? Now another person came out and said, what? We have 1.5 million people on the moon. Really? You got pictures? You got anything to prove it? Oh, we got bases on Mars. And Laura Eisenhower, I had her on my show. I debated her once. I brought her on my show. We had 12 120,000 people listening to that show when I did it with her. She wouldn't say one word against me, period. She would agree with everything I said, and she'd go, "Oh, I got to have you on my show." But I listen to her shows. She's all about love and healing and beauty and all that, which isn't planet Earth. They're on the wrong planet, sorry. But again, people, I'm not against the government. The government's doing what they do and get paid for. Police do what they do because they get paid to do it. Whatever you're doing, hopefully you're getting paid to do it. I don't get paid to do this show. I don't get paid to write my books. I try not to charge money for any of my books. I got 3 books that I give out. I'm not here to hold on. Look, it's not even owned by the federal government, people. It was created by a couple of men, believe it or not, a family. But here's the thing. There's a secret compartment up in the top of the skull. All right. And they put all this information up there. So if anybody could ever get up there and open it up, we could see what was really going on. But they won't open it. But besides that, let's talk about reality. The United States government's going to release a UFO ship by the end of the year. It's going to be the most deadliest weapon on the planet. It's public. It cost $40 billion already. And people go, we don't got no money. They're going to tell you, we're going to do this. There's no money anywhere anyway, people. Nobody on this planet knows how much money in gold that we have, first off, and oil. They know under all the native nations, they got enough oil to supply the world for the next 100 years. See, people, there's things that are going on with the secret government, not our actual out there movement government, because they don't know nothing. They don't know what's causing the global warming, the changes to the planet. They don't talk about it, and they don't admit any of it. Aliens know what they're doing. Watch the alien not the autopsy, the alien interrogation. They're trying to get this alien to tell how the beginning of the Earth and all. They don't know. They're just saying what they assume as well. But he does say, when they're interrogating him, that one man's going to destroy the planet. All right, one man. And they were trying to make him say who it was. But he never said. He says, I don't know who it is, but it's one person. So, with that being said, aliens go back and forth in the future and back and forth. We can do it now, people, because of Mr. Tesla working with an alien race. They gave him 50 of the most deadliest weapons on the planet. And we got good aliens coming here? Helping who? What? Do what? Even these people say, well, I did a conference next to Area 51. One of the people was speakers, and he was talking about he worked with the Nordics. I said, sorry, the Nordics aren't good people. Oh, yes, they are. I was in a car crash, and they pulled me out. And I work with them. I said, okay, what else did they help you do? He couldn't name one other thing. Oh, they help me all the time. Doing what? They're not helping save the planet at any level. Why? What are they helping you do? People, even in religion, it's the same thing. Jesus helps me. Jesus saved me. Jesus isn't here on this planet. He doesn't care about people here. Sorry, I hate to tell you that. If he did, he would be here. He didn't have to die. He had powers. He didn't have to die, but he had to prove that we're not this body. And more people hold on to this body than anything else, especially rich people. They're afraid to go to heaven. Jesus said many times, it's easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than a rich person to get into heaven. Why did he say that? And he said, in the Bible alone, he said it 3 times. When I say alone in the Bible, because I was there, I reincarnated, I had a reincarnation in that lifetime. And he said it over and over. Because all the rich people were out to condemn him. People don't want to hear the truth, called karma. And money creates karma. More and more. The more you have, the more karma it creates, period. If you got $10 billion in your pocket or in the bank, those people are starving because you're hoarding money. It goes on. It's a lot worse than that. But all these people in government with child sales and things like that, and nobody's doing anything about it. Because the government has more power than we do. But again, they're doing it to support the rich people and create all these underground cities. Do you ever imagine what it would cost to do that? All the stuff that's going on, and they got purified, they got the only hydroponics farms and things down there already. And I'll tell you something real confidential. They took all the water from California and pumped it underground. They needed to fill up their supply of water down there. When California went into a shortage, there was a pipeline that went all the way over, and you could follow the pipeline right to where it goes in the ground. All right, people, are you ready to get out there and look and search and find the truth? You're not going to find it going to a convention. I promise you not. Well, Tina is trying to get more involved with doing conferences and get involved. She's close to all the ancient alien people who are all clones of brainwashed people. People, we're looking for people that have actual experiences and some kind of proof. Even the lie detector and all these other drugs, truth serum and things like that, to prove that you're at least talking from some state of reality, meaning other than a dream or being drunk or whatever. But when you go against the government, obviously you're a terrorist. So, like I said, I'm not attacking the government. They're doing what they have to do. Police do what they have to do. And it's not about putting you and me on the Mars or the moon. And aliens, do you think they want us to go into outer space? Be serious, people. We cannot get along on this planet. And you think they're going to take people from here and bring them into distant solar systems to put them where? To do what? Be the same animals in other planets? And destroy what they have? Why do people think we're so intelligent? We're very non-spiritual, even though everybody claims to be. People don't know what the word spiritual means. People don't know what the word ascension means. All these so-called psychic spiritual healers and all that. I'm an ascended master and Bob and whatever they think they are and say. Buddha didn't believe in God. And that's sad. He got to the astral plane, got into the bliss state, but that's nowhere. And it's basically letting go of everything and it'd be nothing. One with nothingness, really. How exciting is that? And why would I want to learn to do that? I live with a Buddhist Lama, and it's hard. I can't mention the word God, ever. Buddha talked about prayer and praying. Praying does not help anything. Oh, well, I did this and it saved me here. Really? Look at Tibet. That's a country of people praying all day long. China went in there and destroyed 250 temples, killed a lot of the lamas, raped a lot of the women. And the Dalai Lama is not even allowed in his own country, or he will be killed. If people sing a song about the Dalai Lama, they're put in jail. If they put the pictures of Dalai Lama up, they get put in jail. China took it over, people, no matter how much they prayed. Now, I can tell you, Tibet and Hopi land are actually the opposite side of the planet. Their prophecies are very much the same. You know, peace and calmness doesn't exist on this planet. You could live in La La Land all you want. Close your eyes and dream. All right? You have bad dreams too. Buddha said this is all a dream anyway. A sick, perverted dream. Now, I'm doing a book. It's for women only. And it's about how women need to protect themselves and understand men. In detail. Not fake stories, real stories, and what happens when you don't. But I put a book out, 2 Teachings of Jesus from God Realization. Jesus didn't come here to save anybody's ass, people, whether you want to understand that or not. He doesn't save anybody's ass right now. Do you realize that? Then the second thing is, what did he really come here for? To teach people how to get closer to God itself. Not a dream, not a story, not a fantasy. That's a horrible thing to put up online. You know, it's real, but look, we're doing a UFO show. We're not talking about how bad the Dalai Lama is. He's respected by more people than anybody else in the United States or the world. So putting somebody like that down is pretty stupid. I mean, I say he doesn't talk about God because he doesn't know God, never experienced God. The 5 spiritual people on the planet around the world, Deepak Chopra, Eckhart Tolle, Dalai Lama, the Pope, and even Oprah Winfrey, have no clue about a real God, no clue about reincarnation, no clue about death. And they're talking and making billions of dollars off of people willing to listen to be in the now, be all you can. You are all you can. You're not going to grow another arm or wings or anything being close to it. You're not going to become super, Star Child? And do what? All these star beings. What are they doing? Nothing. People that work with the Galactic Federation, what are they doing? Nothing. The stories go on and on if you want the truth, people. I'm hardcore. You're not going to find anybody on this planet as hardcore as I am. Seriously. I've been there. I've done it. I worked with women when I was 20. Lost their children at almost 2 weeks, 3 weeks before they had birth. One of them was allowed to see their child a year later. Then she had her second child taken. You know, it's real, people, and it's not what you perceive it to be. There's no pleasure going on a UFO. What do you think you're going to wear? What do you think you're going to eat? And where do you think you're going to take showers and all the other things you like? You're going to sit in the ocean or do anything cool? People, when do you think about what you think about? And how far do you go with it? I always take everything I think about as far as I can. What if it goes here? How much further can it go? Where can it go from there? Well, death, it goes a lot further. The motivation is knowing God is there. And when you leave this world, if you don't create karma, you'll get into the higher worlds. And they're incredible. They're beautiful. They're thousands of times better than here. The astral plane, you can't kill people. You can stay there for almost ever if you get the permission to stay there. Most souls have to reincarnate because they created karma. And people that create karma are just going to keep coming back here. That's all it means. Buddha talked about karma. He was 100% right about it. But when you don't create karma and you create a positive reality for yourself, the best you can in this reality, you can stay on the astral plane. But then you need to move forward from there. You're going to need to learn how to leave your body and meet with the angels that are around you. And they work with you. And when you do, you'll be taken into other realms. And then you start learning about better things beyond planet Earth. About what soul really is, what it really looks like. It's not male or female, people, just so you know. On the astral plane, you are. You could be as old, as young as you want when you go there. Most people pick 25 to 35. If they get to stay there. Otherwise, you reincarnate. And you reincarnate based on your karma that you have. Your karma is okay. You come back into your family as a child, a grandchild, whatever. But if you have bad karma, you get born in another country as a starving child again. Karma is bad. I mean, good karma means you don't have any. That's all. All right. Buddha talked about it over and over. He teaches about it. He taught about karma. There was 4 Buddhas, just in case you didn't know that either. Like I said, I live with a Lama, and it's so hard. I mean, we almost get into a fight every time we talk. Because there is no God. It's all mind in Buddha's reality. Mind is affected by the five senses of the brain. And they have nothing to do with God, spirit, or any of that. When soul, which is you, in this body, steps out of it, the body's nothing. And I call it, karma means to me living in a body, which is your karma, the same as living in your car. Car breaks down, fix it, breaks down, fix it, gets run down, you get rid of it. Well, so is your body, is the same thing. But these multi-millionaires and billionaires that want to live forever, yeah, I know it's on video. Okay, let it go. We're not talking about the Dalai Lama as far as what he did. We're talking about what's happening to the world and why we're not doing what we're supposed to be. We can't be fighting with each other. That's a simple rule. Now, here's a spiritual law that nobody lives by. The most important spiritual law on this planet, in this realm, is the law of non-interference. Who can say that they don't interfere in somebody's life, government life, people's lives, family lives, or any of that? We think we have the right to. We don't. You don't have the right to kill somebody. When they put a person in an electric chair, a gas chamber, that person's killing somebody. You don't think he's going to get karma for that? He has no right killing somebody. When a government sends you to another country, in the Army, Marines, and Navy, to kill people, they don't have the right to tell you to do that. It doesn't give you the right to do it. And I can tell you one of the most famous speakers in the psychic world claim, well, that's okay. It's not okay to kill, period. There is no justification, period. And people can't even get that straight. Well, the 10 Commandments says that you can't do it. 10 Commandments are laws to live by without creating karma. There was a lot more to each one of them, but they can only put so much on a stone. I mean, it's like half of what the whole sentence meant. But again, people, where do you want to go? Aliens come down here, and what do you expect them to do for you? What would possibly be good if they came down to see you? Give you a gold brick? Here's a gold brick. Go out and buy a house. What do you think would happen? What do you think they could do to make us better? Oh, you love each other. Brainwash us and say we all love each other? John Lennon did it without bad drugs and everything else. And they had to take him out, didn't they? John Lennon was abducted by aliens, people, whether you want to know that or not. He was given something. The only person I know that actually got something from an alien race. And he hated aliens and he hated being abducted. He gave that to somebody really famous, too, as well. Right before he died. Killed. I can go into that. That's a government thing, which I'm not going to go into. But here's the thing. The person that killed Oswald, when that whole thing went down, same place they both came from. But here's the thing. Aliens are not here to help us. They've been here hundreds of thousands of years. And if they wanted to help us, you don't think they would? Oh, well, they're getting better now. No, we're not. We're more violent than we have ever been. We have the most deadliest weapons and drugs on the planet in any point of history, except before our known history, because all those races killed each other. You want fake history? Read about the story Zachariah Sitchin says about the Anunnaki. They didn't create us. We weren't created by aliens, people. And who created aliens? More aliens? No. People, you want the truth? I can give you part of it. And you'll have to find the rest of it. But you have to look for it. You're not going to find it in books or anything out there. I write because I'm just so bored and fed up with what's happening. Not that people care. I give my books away. How many people want it? When I was doing conferences, UFO conferences for a while, and I put out one of my books, this man from China came and he put his hand on my book. This is an important book, and just bought it from me. You know, people can sense energy, what's being created. Most people out there can't even read a person's aura, which everybody should be able to do if you need to. Means you look at a person in the eye and you see what color is around them. That color will determine and to tell you what that person really is. Nobody can cover it up or hide it. And we don't get involved with that. Nobody pushes that as a teaching. Oh, I'm going to heal you. You're going to be free of karma. You're going to be this, that, and the other thing. No, you're not. When Oprah Winfrey worked with Deepak Ekatoli, and he told her, you have no more karma. You have no ego. And she believed it. She has no ego. Really? She's one of the richest women on the planet, and she has no ego. Really? She donates $1 million here and there. So what? When you're a multi-billionaire, does $1 million affect you? Yeah, you don't have to pay taxes. People, who do you want to follow? Listen to Ekatoli. Be wanted now. The Deepak Chopra. Another one, live in the moment. He claims he's a medical doctor as well. But, you know, people, the world's horrible right now. Are any of these people making it better? I can't, because people are afraid of the truth. I have very few people listening to me all the time. People come and go because they hear God, they hear truth, and God's a story. God's not real. It's universal energy. Everybody wants to create their reality. Fine, you can hear, because it's hell. You can't create something positive in hell. People, do you understand that? Satan controls this planet. Call it whatever you want. Dark side, the demon, the dragon. You know, I just put this information out there. I get a lot of weird people coming into my chat room, but I did a show with Sergeant 18 on Kerry Cassidy's show for 9 months. We had 50 people in our chat room every time we did a show. We had 1,000, 200, 300 people call into the site and watch it the next day. We had a 10 times bigger following than Kerry Cassidy did. And she never even watched one of our shows. I thought, why don't you watch one of our shows? We're putting pictures of UFOs up. We're doing this, that, and the other thing. Never did. I don't agree with anything she does. She's good friends with Sean David Morton. She helped him a lot. But she brings on all these whistleblowers and believes what they say. Imagine we believed all the whistleblowers, what they all said. It'd be an incredible, ridiculous, horrible world. And you'd be afraid to go out of your house and everything else. People take a truth, whatever it is, their truth, and exaggerate it. The UFO people tell stories and it just gets bigger and bigger. Every time they tell it, it gets this much bigger. All the stories I tell stay the same because they were exactly the way I say it. Nothing changed. Nothing changes now. It's still exactly the way it was when I first told it. First saw it, first experienced it. When I saw my first Bigfoot, when I saw my first alien, when I saw my first UFO. People, I saw thousands of UFOs. I filmed many. When I was at Sargell 18, we filmed all kinds of stuff all the time. A lot of things are invisible into this dimension. Like Sargell and I, we had like 3 people with us. We were up at Wanacue, and an invisible dragon came over us. How do we know it was an invisible dragon? Because we heard it flapping its wings, and it screeched really loud, maybe 5 to 6 times, and then it landed. And where it landed, we saw all these rocks fall down. We went there the next morning, and its footprint was in the ground. Sargell has that picture. I think I might. I'm not sure if I do. But again, there was other people that heard it and were screaming. And Sargell screaming, just shoot pictures. Just take pictures of the sky. Do whatever you... And we never got a picture of the dragon itself. But I can show you some pictures that I shot. These weird ships. And don't believe ships have to be a certain size. Satellites are small. You're not going to see satellites 95% of the time. It's a ship, not a satellite. Second of all, satellites can be little, about this big, or this big. And most of them are. The same with aliens. How big do you think they have to be? Well, we had a mothership over Area 51 every other week. Sean David Morton used to bring people out there. I was invited to go with him. He went on Montel Williams' show and invited Montel Williams to go out there, which he never did. He went out there during the day a month later. No aliens here. I'm friends with the 4-star general. Tried to downplay the whole thing. Government bought all the property around it so nobody could get near it anymore. But they moved everything. If you listen to my show, see, they screwed me up, my voice on my show that we did on Tuesday. I'm either going to, I don't know if he'll come back on if I do it on Skype, on a StreamYard again. So I might have to move it to Zoom or something else. But the problem is my voice was so screwed up the whole show. I said, just talk, Sean. And I let him talk. And he said a lot of things that were important. It's still up. I hope it still is. Watch it. Listen to it. You might learn something. He's one of the smartest people on the planet. And I'm not making that up. He was a genius all his life. He can read a book and memorize it in 2 or 3 hours. All right. But when he was on my show, he said he forgot a person's name. And then it was Bigelow, Mr. Bigelow. All right. But, I tried to get in touch with Bigelow for a year. He still owned the Skinwalker Ranch. And I was trying to get him to get involved with something more important because I said, the ranch that I go to, there's more stuff happening on a daily basis. I brought Carrie Cassidy out there and she shot a ship over the house. I mean, I brought a person that I know. I'm not going to say much about it. We filmed aliens. And a couple other things happened. So, on a daily basis, it's right next to an alien army base. Seriously. Ships going in and out all night long. You go watch it. So he was killed not this Christmas before. All right. He said he worked with Men in Black. He worked with this, that, and the other thing. But, he lied to me and I ended my friendship with him. But, people, the UFO world is becoming the biggest lie out there. We shouldn't be caring about what the government does with aliens. They're there to protect this planet. Not you and me, the planet and the rich people on it. Period. That's not a bad thing for them. It's their job. But they can't tell you and can't stop aliens abducting people. There's about 2 or 3 books out on all the people go missing in the state parks. You need to check that out. I mean, there's a car by a cliff and family's there. They get out of the car, and now there's no family there. They find the car. They can't find no people. They look down on the bottom of the cliff. There's nobody down there. But the numbers are incredible. And that's just people missing in parks. In a war zone, all my friends went to Vietnam. I didn't. I ended up getting out I had a problem with my body, and they said, we don't want you. But here's the thing. They let these people out. And a few of them actually said they were working. They saw ships and they saw aliens and everything else. They take bodies, people. They need bodies. Mutilations are needed by aliens as well. Do people... Linda Motenhouse spent 40 years, and she has no proof of anything about it. I had some pictures of dream mutilations. I don't even know what kind of animal it was, but my computer was hacked. I had a picture, the only picture that I know that existed, and anybody here finds it, let me know. A picture of Denver Airport. The main room, which was where you get your tickets and everything, there was a triangle, and it had pictures of trophies and pictures and things of the presidents. On the floor, in steel, about 40 feet wide, it said U.S. Air Force New World Order in steel around it with the symbol and everything inside the middle. It was there for 2 years. And they had the murals on the wall of 4 different tribes being killed. There's still 2 up there. The one with the guy with the mask and the machine and the machete and everything, and all the women getting blown up and things like that. 2 of them are there. All the rest of them were moved underground. It's the biggest underground base under there as well, but I'm not going to get into that. But what I wanted to bring out is nothing's what you appear or know, and they're not going to tell you what's really going on. I could do a show on Denver Airport because I was there a couple of times. I went back, and it was gone. They put a fountain over it. Now, the New World Order people have to tell you what they do before they do it. It's their spiritual law. We have to tell them what we're doing, period. They only have to tell you. They don't have to make you believe it. All right? So when they release something, we're going to do this, they don't have to come out and put it on a paper every day forever. They just got to tell you. You either believe it or you don't. But they do have to tell you. So that's one thing. If you listen or follow what's going on, UN Agenda 21-30 is real. And few people want to get into it. I know Sean didn't want to talk about it. Nobody does. Because Sean was talking about 2039. The world's going to be totally annihilated in a great number of people by 2030. People that'll be here will be living under AI, and AI is a real entity. So we're headed for a disaster every which way, people. The drugs, they're taking drugs from people. Why? Why would they want people to be in pain? Think about it. They're taking all the drugs from old people. My partner's a very sickly person. They cut her medicine. Anybody on drugs, they're cutting them in half or a third, whatever. And then 27 super famous people all promoting CBD oil. Why is that? It doesn't do much. It's not the real thing because you can make it from marijuana and it has this, I can't even say the word, the drug in it, which actually helps. All right. Now they're pushing it. It's affecting children's minds. You know, the government's playing all these games. So who's in control of the government, really? Not the president, not the vice president. Who controls Congress? A bunch of old people. Do you realize our Congress people are 70 and 80 years old? They don't know what the HARP system is. They don't know what chemtrails are. They don't know what geothermal is. They don't know what fracking is. And they're in that position getting paid more than you and your whole family together for the rest of their lives, people? Do you care about what's going on? No, as long as you get your beer, your marijuana, or whatever is going to relax you and take your mind off of this planet. Sex, well, sports, All those things are just to keep you focused on anything but the truth. The underground cities. Jesse Ventura did shows on all the important things for 2.5 years. I'm surprised he lasted that long, really. He showed the HARP system, he showed streamer bases, he showed everything. The underground cities. New World Order's home base, which is over, where is it? Oh, man. My screen blacks out, so I don't know if you can hear me or not, so I stopped talking, but over a base, and the walls around the city, the building, it's bigger than the White House. The walls are 6 to 8 feet wide, and surrounded by guards, and this was before it was supposedly even finished years ago. Look out when Jesse Ventura's show was on TV. A lot of them were taken down. Most everything's taken down. The show that I did, Sargel and I did on Strange Universe, I think he took it down somehow. Because, again, everything he said and did was off the internet now. And the only reason I would think it was the government, because you can't be involved in the UFO world if they come after you. They give you money, say, okay. But he always told me if they gave me enough money, I'd walk away from this. But he was dying 3 years ago. And he promised me all our pictures that we shot, because he copyrighted them all. I mean, pictures of me I can't even show because he copyrighted it. I'm still trying to get a lawyer to help me with that idea. It says, look, it's me. I didn't consent to him copyrighting a picture of me. Is it legal for him to have it and sue me for putting it up? I don't know. If anybody knows a good lawyer that would just help me figure out the information on that. Look, I'm not going to talk about Sargel. I was with him 6 years. His ego is as big as the Trump and Musk and everybody else. The egos are bigger than God. What people know about God anyway. Aliens are not good. Tina Bird, who I do my show with, is probably the most important UFO story. I hope she gets a book out. Hopefully she's going to get it out within a month. What happened to her is more facts and more proof than any other abductee. Travis Walton had a couple witnesses one time. She's been abducted multiple times with her boyfriend and you name it. Had her implants cut out. Sargel changed his name to Lord Sargel. He claims to be a spiritual being now. All right. And he also, his prophecy, people, 2034, Jesus comes down and kills Lucifer. That kind of made us split, and the fact that he hated Sean David Martin. All right. Who got framed? 150 charges against him. They put him in jail for 2.5 years, and they tried killing him every which way. The horrible story. If you listen to the show, what he went through, how he got put in there, all the lies. I mean, people lost money, but more people made tons of money off of him than not. I lost money. He lost money, and all our friends did. It was about a native bank opening in Washita, and they called all the land west of the Mississippi Washita land, and it was a bank they were going to open for native people. The whole scam went down. I only lost $4,000. A friend of mine lost $180,000. I mean, he took money. Not Sean, the person that he was dealing with, took $1.5 million from the mob. He was a paraplegic, and he had to travel. And he went to another state, and he surrendered because he knew the mob was coming after him. But he invested all that money, put it offshore. Nobody ever got any money back. I don't even know what's happening with him, if he's ever going to get to use any of that money. He could bribe the whole everybody in the everywhere, but that's besides the point. But look, people, Sean was the top psychic from 1995 to the time he was put in jail. He prophesied 9/11 3 years in a row, up until the last year before it happened, in detail. So, psychic abilities are good in a way. Wow, I know that. But if you don't do something about things, it's useless. I mean, all the things Nostradamus said, they all came true. Oh, they all came true. Why not? Well, let's stop them from happening. If a psychic told you, don't go out, you're going to get hit by a car today, don't go out of the house. And make sure your house is not near a road where a car can come flying into your house. All right? Change it. But if you don't believe what a psychic says, I mean, some people say don't get on a plane today, and they don't, and the plane crashes. All right? Little things like that help. But when you say, well, the world's going to be destroyed in 25 years, so what? Can we stop it? So why harass the world, giving them more pain and suffering the next time until it happens? Unless you can stop it. Aliens aren't here to stop us from anything, people. All right, there's certain races that don't want us to blow up the planet. Don't want us to blow up the planet. All right? Because they want the planet. They're going to use the planet. It's got to be radioactive. People, do you understand that? All these beings are radioactive. Tina's radioactive. We prove it every show we do. Her dog died of radiation poisoning as well. Nobody wants to talk about that or even believes it. We didn't buy a fake Geiger counter. I bought one and she bought one, the same one. We turned it on at about 45 minutes into the show, and she shows she's radioactive 90% of the time. Once in a while, she's not, which is crazy. Radiation doesn't come and go. All right? The radiation that we know, anyway. And I said she's exposed to radiation from the ship she was on many times. I also say they're keeping her alive. She was losing her fingernails, her teeth, her hair. Well, every month a tooth fell out. Her nails are falling off. She got hit. Her whole arm and leg would turn black and blue. She was passing out. She has every symptom of radiation poisoning. She's doing all right now. Like I said, they want to keep her alive because she can communicate with her children on the ship right now, and they don't know why. So she can go into that in detail. Hopefully it's all in the book, which I'm sure it is. But people, her truth is important to understand. Abduction isn't what we should be calling or desiring or want. I challenge an alien. I said, you give me something, I'll give you something. Let's make a deal. That's the only way I'll even meet with an alien. I see him. I got a light ship blinking at me all the time and everything else. The first time I did Morse code in the sky and it did the Morse code back to me, I was blown away. But ever since then, they've been blinking at me. I could go outside. Not every day. Every couple of days, they'll blink at me 3, 4. They blinked at me 120 times about 6 months ago. I thought I filmed it, but my cameras, both of my cameras were frozen. So what I was saying about aliens, they're super aware, not spiritual. Just because you're aware of things doesn't make you spiritual. They can sense what we think, and that's how they usually communicate with us. So when I was filming it, they just froze my camera. Because if I showed that video live, people couldn't say it was a satellite, or it was a drone, or it was this or that or the other thing. Now, I filmed 2 things. I didn't even take it off my camera. You know, I don't even put it up because people say it's not real. But I filmed the ship. It was pretty big ball of white light coming towards me. And it went over my head. As it was over my head and started going past me, it started getting bigger and bigger as it went out and further away. Impossible. Doesn't happen. So I didn't take it down and actually look at it. I hope it's not screwed up on my film. But I'm at the point I'm dealing. My dog was really sick for the past month and a half, going to the vet all the time. My partner was sick as well. And I'm going to the hospital, doctor, and this, that, and the other thing. Got serious problems with my arms, my hands. So, you know, I got so many problems, but look, I don't have time. I'm 70 years old. I don't plan on staying here another 10 years. I'm not going to be around to see the world get destroyed. I don't want to be. All right? I mean, I saw enough, and I know what's happening. People don't want to believe into Satan. They want to believe in good aliens. An impossibility. They're reincarnating into humans, people, and nobody can tell you that, probably other than me. I spend a lot of time on the ESA plane, watching souls come in and go, and what happens and all that stuff. But I don't hang out there anymore. I'm dealing with things here, in my dream state, or in the higher realms. Well, anything past the ESA plane starts getting into the higher realms, the beautiful realms where you want to be. I mean, the third, fourth, and fifth plane, the fifth plane where you stay as soul. But you can go beyond that. But that's talking about things that are way beyond any kind of conception with this brain and this body. All right, soul can understand, but mind can't. When mind has an experience, it translates it to what it knows. I've been dealing with people that had death experiences. Remember, I don't know any that talks about what really happened. I had 5. And I know the difference, what happens and what should happen and what you should know. The mind can't perceive something that it doesn't know. All right? Draw an invisible dragon. How do you draw it? Really? So, but here's the thing. When they have a dream, oh, I met my father. I met my mother. I met Jesus. I met no other alien, right? And they sent me back. Really? What were you looking at? Where were you? What was going on where you were? All the important questions nobody ever asks. How long did you stay there? When you're out of body, time is so different. All right? And it's multiplied by 100. Like one day here is like 100 days there. I mean, 100 days there is like one day here. So when you leave your body for an hour, you can do all this extra work when you're gone within 1 hour. But that's here or there. You have to learn how to leave your body. And you need to get in touch with something that's going to help you with that. Oh, you don't instantly know all those things. 99.9% of all people will not just know anything. It depends what they left in their last life. If they were aware in their last life and they're still here, reincarnated, they should be aware of a lot of things which should help them not come back the next time. Reincarnation isn't good. It means you're attached and locked into the garbage in the hell world. One religion called them lust, greed, anger, vanity, and attachment. I call them sex, drugs and drinking, smoking, sports, cheap drills, and obscene sex. All right? All those things keep men here. Women are a little different, but they're more pulled into men's ideas now than ever. But they're still more abused than ever as well. My book on that, I'm trying to get it edited. I can't get somebody to edit it. Somebody promised me and they disappeared. I can't get in touch with them. All right. You know, people, soul moves on 90% of the time. Kill somebody changes everything. All right. Your karma determines if you're going to move forward or backwards. Soul usually moves on, but realize it reincarnated about 300 times or more. Each time it keeps coming back. How much did it learn? Nothing. I know about, I'd say, almost all my lifetimes. Only 3 of them are important out of them all. I was a rabbi, I was a priest, I was this, that, and the other thing. I never killed anybody in the past lives. But Atlantis was really important. All right? When I was alive with Jesus was the really most important. And here and now, being in understanding and able to let go of all of it and move forward is the most important life, because it's going to stop me from coming back here. Provided I don't go out of the way to kill people and things like that. All right, karma is easy to create, depending how bad or good it is. When John Lennon wrote the song Instant Karma, well, when you work on following a spiritual path, karma is instant. Or you just smack somebody. You walk around and you turn around and hit a pole or something. All right, it's instant. You don't get to wait till the end of your lifetime to pay it off. Instant karma is going to get you, and it does. I can go on about that because I worked with Shiva, a deity, for 2 years. I didn't want to. The master I was working with said, you got to. And I finally said, no, I'm not. Because for those 2 years, everywhere I went, and this is no lie, you can ask anybody I knew, even Sergeant 18, when I walk in their house or near them or with them, they are hit with instant karma, their karma. Yes, Sergeant, what happened when I walked in his house after we had a big fight? We didn't get together for a long time. And I was suddenly working with Shiva. And I walked in their house. We had the top medicine man of the Chippewa Nation. We had 4 kahunas, no, not kahunas, Jaguar priests come. They came from all over the world to come to the property where we did all our UFO stuff. It was Native American burial ground where the government took it over. All right. I can go on about stories and things that happened. But yeah, for 2 years, everywhere I went, even my ex-wife, I met her. She got a ticket the second I mean, all these things just happened for them. I call it instant karma. But I didn't want to be the person that brought it. And I begged and begged to get rid of Shiva. I can't work with you no more. But I'm at a point now, it's different. I see karma. I try not to think about it. But when I see an action, I know the karma is coming to it. And you should know, everything that happens has its result, karma. And it's not going to be good. I can go on and on about that. Because while I was working with it, I thought, oh, that man's going to get what he deserves. And man, the things that happen the next day are outrageous. So, psychic abilities, which everybody's begging for and want to use and claim, are not beneficial to mankind today. Not one person on this planet is spiritual enough to know how to use a psychic ability wisely. Oh, I'm going to heal the whole planet. No. You don't have the right to take everybody's karma. The law of non-interference is number one. So, again, what could you do if you had 32 psychic abilities like Jesus had? Or Mary Magdalene? What could you do? Change the world to what? Make them love each other? Give up free will to be a slave? Is that what spirituality means? No. Growing in truth, knowing there's a real God. And guess what? People say you should have no fear. You should have fear. You really should. Of one thing. God. Oh, God's not going to do. God will. God will be there in the end. You won't be. Where you go is determined by what the world's God created for you. It's like first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, eighth grade. First, second, third year of college. All right. It's all planned out. If you make it to any other world other than the astral plane, then you become closer to God. God will pay attention to you as a soul. Not before. Not in hell. What are you going to do? Create another invention to make things easier for man? To do what? Sit around and do nothing, smoke and drink? Man is lazy. Jacques Cousteau, right before he died, he put a movie out about the pollution around the planet, which was every country. Every country is depending on how many miles out into the ocean the pollution goes. I mean, like Puerto Rico, it's miles. I mean, China. But the United States was only 2 miles. So, you know, but he, at the end of it, he said, mankind's, and he said, this is the future of mankind. He showed a satellite with a little head in it. He says, nobody needs a body because nobody wants to do anything. Just think what you want to happen and it'll happen. All right? And that was, so he was an incredible guy. I mean, I was still working with Sorgel at the time, but his son took over a lot of stuff he was doing when the Gulf freeze happened and the ocean was polluted and all that. But does anybody care? Global warming is going to happen, not because you smoke cigarettes, not because you drive a car, not because a company is producing bubble gum or anything else. It's because of what major things are causing the global changes. I'm not going to bring it into this show because I want to make sure this show stays up. All right. But there's at least 5 major things causing global warming. Not one person in government talks about it. Not one. Mr. Al Gore, who created the word, was paid to create it and spread it around, showed events that that are happening and could happen, but he never went into what really could cause it and really is going to cause it. Well, I talk about that a lot. I write to Global Peace, all the emails I get, I write them letters back. Why don't you talk about what's going on? Why don't you tell the truth? Don't blame styrofoam, antifreeze. Don't blame the things that aren't causing the problem. Sure, you can say fires. Fires are dangerous to the world, to the ozone layer, to our future. This island is infested where I live with chickens and roosters. They're all over. And there's all kinds of laws. You can't just kill them and things like that. Uh, but everybody has them, so you can't get rid of them. And certain laws have many. They're allowed to have like not as many chickens, but you can only have 2 roosters, and there can't be 10 people in the house. There's all kind of laws for roosters. But you're allowed to kill pigs anywhere. Wild boar, which we have everywhere, has come down the road yesterday and or the day before, and it was like running right across the street. Little guy, I want to stop. I mean, catch him, but they become big wild creatures here, and they attack too. But Hawaii is not beautiful. No place is beautiful because man destroys it. Man brought everything to this island that shouldn't be here. Mongoose is number 1. They brought mongoose here to eat the rats. The only thing is, rats eat at night, mongoose eat during the day. So the mongoose never get to see the rats. So it was a useful thing. But they're like squirrels, like New Jersey and places like that, where squirrels are everywhere. You see squished mongoose almost every day. They're stupid, they run across the road and get squished. But you know, when we talk about beauty, there's more UFOs over us ever than in all my lifetime. I could go out after 10 o'clock usually, or out about 3:30 in the morning. Sun comes up so early here, and it gets bright by 6 o'clock in the morning. But I got a camera. I can film into the sunrise, so I can still see the stars while the sun's coming up. I can film through thin clouds as well. It's a cheap monocular, and the view is small, so it's pretty hard to catch something when it's moving real fast. All right, but I do. And I got so many pictures I shot, but you know, I don't put them up. And my partner was going over the mountain. And when you go over the mountain, you go over the army base. It's underground, so you don't get to see anything. She said that she shot a couple pictures. She saw something. She doesn't talk about UFOs or care. But there were 3 or 4 triangle ships doing all these weird things right over the base. So I put that up on my show, my one picture, if you pull it up 2 days ago or a week before, whatever. Are you ready for the truth? Do you care about the truth? Do you want to listen to all these fools telling you junk? Well, the government did this, the government did that. Of course they did. So what? Does it change what you ate, how you live, what you wear? After World War II, they put fluoride in the water, which was poison. Because they had barrels, hundreds of barrels of fluoride, and it was illegal to dump it anywhere. So they paid 10 scientists to say, hey, find a use for this and we'll get rid of it. They ran out of it a couple years ago. Why do you think they're taking fluoride out of everything right now? People, you know, you don't follow the truth, you don't follow the facts, and you don't care to look it up. You know, in the library, they have to list everything your state does, the government does. There's a book's main, I know in Hawaii, it's right there in the main front thing where you pull that out. It says what kind of test in it. It doesn't explain the test in detail. But they drop bombs here a lot, and now they got drones dropping bombs, testing it, and they brought a big drone, and it looks so cool. But guess what? It's not cool. The other thing I learned, drones can be flown all around the world now. And they have different bases which take over control of the drone, and it's powered by nuclear power. Satellites are powered by the same thing, people. I worked in California. I was living in California next to a person that was working for the government. He had an exit sign. It was always lit. He had all these things. I said, aren't you paying for the bill? No, there's radiation in the little thing in there, and it'll stay lit forever. So, you know, technology is used for reasons why the government would work with radiation, why different people would work with radiation. But it's not healthy for the human body. People, Tina is in I don't know who can help her. Somebody just told me on the last show, Kale, a couple of things that she should be taking, which I got to tell her when I see her. I wrote it down somewhere. But to get it out of the body. Apple pectin, they said they used the Noble because they helped the people survive the radiation from there. But the Army used something else. I mean, simple things that we can get and use, and I think she should be on it. Well, I didn't get to talk to her about that. I don't talk to her much in between shows. I talked to her right before the show as well. So hopefully I get to talk to her next Tuesday. She was supposed to be here today, people. I don't know what happened. Let me just see one thing here. She must have forgot because she said she wanted to do the show Thursday because we couldn't do it. We couldn't do it. She couldn't get on Tuesday. I mean, it turned into a disaster anyway. But got some important stuff. If you listen, I mean, it's so. I should try to filter it, but I didn't have time to do anything right now. But people, tune in. Send this link to everybody you know. If you have any suggestions, ideas, or anything else, look, I don't do anything for money. I pay for this show. I pay for my books, put them out there, and I try to sell them as cheap as I can. And when I get them so I can give them away, I give them away. So my UFO book, How to See UFO, is a manual. I'll give it to anybody that wants it as well. I mean, and I should update it because everything I'm seeing now is not in that book because I didn't even see these things before. Multiple. I shined a laser on a ship. It was a gold ball going across the sky. I hit it with a laser, green laser. It should turn green for about 4 seconds. Then it turned back to gold. Then I hit it with the laser again, turned green again, turned back to gold, and then it just disappeared. Didn't want to play games. So, you know, there's so many things that if you watch the sky and willing to put time in, you'll see it. If you never saw a UFO, you should at least see one so that you know that they're real. Well, there could be aliens, could be. Well, if it's a UFO, it's got an alien driving it. So then you would say, hey, I believe it. Oh, it's not a little Chinese guy, it's not a little Russian guy, German guy, whatever. It's an alien. And there's multiple aliens here. I know there's 9 races. Like I said, I know 5 of them directly that are working with us, against us. We're going with the government, giving them weapons. But again, we're fighting with them. We had major wars in space already. Do UFO people have a clue? No. MJ-12 is able to block almost everything out. All right? They can block almost everything out in time. Not like Stephen Greer. Oh, they offered me $4 billion to walk away from the space program. $4 billion. And he didn't? Really? If he got that $4 billion, he could create cities of UFO people and stuff and everything else and not have his stupid name on it. But his ego is so big, he thinks he's going to be the one. I'm Stephen Greer. I created disclosure. He didn't create nothing. Tina's in disclosure right now. Real disclosure. Stephen Greer. We can talk here and close your eyes, meditate. And there's light ships. There are light ships there anyway. And they say, what are these bunch of idiots doing? They're not talking to them. And if they do, they don't say anything important, do they? All right, people, I'm sure you heard enough junk for a day. But with that, peace, love, compassion, whatever you need in life, don't stop until you get it. Always look for the truth. Don't settle for the lies, because the truth's there. Keep on searching, keep on looking. Think about yourself more than anything else, because you're the one that's going to leave, and you leave it what you created for yourself, how much awareness you take with you. Till next time, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here. It's always a pleasure. It's my thing. The only thing I feel that I'm important here to do. And if I wasn't to this, there's nothing more important on this planet right now. And my book, the book I'm putting out for women, I just got to get it edited. And I'm going to put it out as cheap as I can. After I get it printed, I'll probably give it away to any woman that wants it, period. All right. Love and light.